Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp. That's magnificent. The move, and then this, which left Dabby's ass totally stranded.
Hello, dear viewer, and welcome to what is commonly known as a Bergkamp Wonderland, the place where you come to listen to people struggling to get to the point, and at the end of 2 hours, you're still not sure whether they've actually made their point because you've stopped listening. And with me this afternoon to try and get on with it is Mr. Karl Walker. He's my favourite of ABW, but don't tell anyone. Don't tell Ellis. You're right, Karl.
I am very, very well, Daniel. And how is you after your podathon? Because it feels like it's a podathon. You've done so many, like in the last.
Yeah, this is number 8. Yeah, it's all right. There's nothing going. See, I've talked to you a lot about doing the Google. I love a Google spreadsheet. So I talked to you a lot about doing one, and I thought, well, rather than just getting people to tell me what it is and fill it in. Well, there's nothing going on at the moment. All the pre-season's done. We've got the Emirates Cup in a cut tomorrow, and then there's no transfer to talk about. We've done all of our transfer stuff. So the Arsenal podcasting world is a little bit of a lull at the moment. So I thought, let's do some of them live, and we've got people watching us.
There's always stuff to talk about. You've got David Raya to talk about. You've got.
What do you reckon to that? Is that on? Is that what we should be spending our money on?
My personal opinion is no.
I agree.
The reason why I think no is, okay, if he does, I don't think we'll spend 40 million on a backup goalkeeper. It just won't happen. Arsenal don't have that sort of capital. We're not Man City. 40 million pounds for a backup goalkeeper is a lot of money. Or whether he comes in as to try and rival the number one. And whether that happens or not, I think there's other areas in the squad to improve. Now, I understand that Matt Turner wants to leave. He wants first team opportunities. One with the World Cup coming up, he wants to, get in there. And I don't think he's going to get many opportunities at Arsenal because, as you know, Arteta's not one for really changing the squad. So he wants to go, and rightly so. I don't blame him. He wants to try and get first team football somewhere. And there's rumours that Nottingham Forest are after him. That's fine. If we get a decent fee for him, that's fine. Looking at our backup goalkeepers, it's Karl Hein and Arthur Nwonku. I think Nwonku, however you pronounce his name.
Yeah,
if I'm really honest, neither of them are good enough to be the backup goalkeeper.
No, not yet.
I've seen Arthur. He's not the best, and Karl Hein not at all. So if Matt Turner does leave, then yes, obviously we need a new backup goalkeeper. Whether spending 40 million on that person is good business, I don't know. Just because we just gave Ramsdale an extension of contract. We doubled his wages. So if you're not going to make him if he's just going to sit around and be a number 2 goalkeeper, that's a lot of money to give someone. I mean, he was on 60, he's now on £120,000 a week. So a lot of money to give someone to be a backup goalkeeper. And if David Raya does come in, he's not coming in to be number 2 because he's got his eyes on that Spanish goalkeeper's position. He's not going to come in and sit on the bench thinking that, I'm going to come and be number 2. So I don't know if this is a smoke screen to someone that we really want. I got no idea, but it's interesting.
But he wanted him before Ramsdale, didn't he?
Yes, and I think again, Brentford are asking for too much money, so we was like, nah, don't worry about it, we'll go somewhere else. The thing is, Brentford have to sell David Raya. They have to, because he's indicated that he has no intention of signing a new contract. And Brentford haven't got a lot of money, so they don't want to lose him for free. Now, Tottenham were in for him, and obviously they went and got a new goalkeeper. Man United were in for him, and Man United went and got a new goalkeeper. So I don't really know where he goes. I don't think Chelsea are going to spend 40 million on a goalkeeper. They've spent God knows how much money. So
best part of 150 million on the last two.
Yeah, so I know Bayern Munich wanted him, but I think Bayern Munich have got all their eggs in the Harry Kane basket. So I don't even know whether he'll come to Arsenal. But it's interesting. It really, really is. But I think
America around with
yeah,
goalkeepers because Bayern, Neuer never go. Remember what Dom used to say? Never go full Neuer. Neuer went full Neuer last season at Christmas and went skiing and injured himself, so he was out. And then they got the Dortmund goalkeeper, I think a Swiss bloke who they've now got rid of, and he's gone to play. And he was in goal for the MLS All Stars. So Bayern need a new goalkeeper, but you don't have to be a magnificent goalkeeper to do well in Germany because there's only like 2 or 3 really good teams. So maybe Bayern are looking at it and thinking we could get Turner. Americans are notoriously very good in Germany. They do love it. Plenty of Americans over there because all the base is there. Then maybe these wants to go there. They could maybe get him for 10 million. We paid 5.5 for him, and then we buy Raya because, like you were saying, and then Raya. Then Brentford needs someone else. But I love Ramsdale. But if a really good podcast, people go to the Highbury Squad. Aaron Ramsdale's dad did the entire 1.5 hour show with Sophie last night, talking about Aaron, talking about football, and doing the job that Kev Campbell usually does. So it was really interesting. And I think the gist of it was he said that it's good for Aaron that a top goalkeeper comes in and pushes him to be a better goalie. Because I saw a tweet, Karl, that said Aaron Ramsdale made more errors that led to goals last season than any Premier League goalkeeper, whilst also being number one at lots of different stats.
And that's the problem, I think, with Aaron Ramsdale, that I think it's a concentration thing. If anyone saw the Manchester United game, the friendly that he played in America, that was the first goal was a goalkeeper mistake. He should save that. And you can probably think of maybe 5 times last season where he made mistakes leading to goals. But then again, I can tell you 5 times where he saved us. So it's swings and roundabouts. I just think that my honest opinion is that I've never ever been confident in Aaron Ramsdale. I like him as a goalkeeper, but I'm just something I just don't find confident, and I don't know.
He's a little bit carefree, isn't he? A little bit. I'm having fun.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is. It's a little bit. He tries to be a little bit too cool, and but then again, like I said, there's so many times that he has saved us last season. So many good saves that he made. So can't say he's a bad goalkeeper because he's not. Aaron Ramsdale is not a bad goalkeeper. He's a very good goalkeeper. Yeah. I just think that maybe his dad is right. Matt Turner is nowhere near the first team, and he's not going to challenge him. So I think it's a case of Aaron Ramsdale knows no matter what he does, he's always going to be number one. So if someone else comes in to challenge him, maybe that's going to make him think, right, I can't make a mistake here because if I make a mistake, Miguel will drop me and this person will come in and take over. So I can understand, and Rudy's right. There's competition in, like, he wants competition in every place, and I get that. I just don't know how well having 2 number 1 goalkeepers works out. I don't know if that works out very, very well.
But next season, this season coming, 38 Premier League games, 6 FA Cup games if we get to the final, 5 semi-final and onwards. League Cup 7 if we get to the final. Charity Shield, Champions League final. Do you know where that's been held?
Wembley, isn't it?
Wembley. That is 12 games if we get to the final. We're not saying we get into the final of these, but we're going to get close to them. This next season could be a 64-game season if we get to a couple of finals, or a 60-plus game season. Last season, we played 49, and we fell apart after, 44, 43 games, 45 games? The team fell apart, and he can't have that when we're playing an extra 15 games.
I mean, what did we do? We got knocked out in the 3rd round of the League Cup and the FA Cup as well, didn't we? Brighton and Man City, I want to say. So, Brighton. I think competition is very, very good. I think goalkeepers are an enigma, aren't they? They are some just different people. And honestly, I think with the World Cup coming up very, very soon, every person is going to want to play like 100%, like no matter what. So It's going to be, if it does go through, it'll be very interesting, like very, very interesting to see what actually happens. But I just do think that we got other places in the squad that I think I want to strengthen. Definitely the right wing, because I do not want Saka playing those 64 games, Danny. Like, I think Saka can't play all those games. And at
Plus
the
10
moment,
for England during the season, no doubt.
And at the moment, his backup, his replacement, I guess, is Reece Nelson. And Reece Nelson is either injured constantly, or is Reece Nelson good enough? I mean, no, you can't compare him to Saka, because no one is like Saka.
I think the bloke from Kudos from Ajax.
So
he is a central midfielder that can play right wing and he's left-footed. Maybe that.
Yes, there's talk of that, and this is why I think Ajax have hijacked a move from someone who's meant to be going to West Ham, who's meant to be a
Tom
replacement.
said it in the last show, a Man City young player.
Yeah, so that is interesting. But again, Danny, I think we have to work on our outs. We have a really bloated squad, and there's too many people there at the moment. There are so many players that need to go, and there's talk of Inter pulling out of the race for Bergkamp because Arsenal want 40 plus and Inter are only willing to offer 35, so they've kind of pulled out. So there's that saga again, and then you've got Tavares, and then you've got Holding, and then you've got Sambi Lokonga, you've still got Cedric, you've still there's so many players there that still, we need to kind of get rid of. So it's going to be almost like a trolley dash at the end of the season, because we can't keep all those players. And then again, we've still got the enigma that is Pepe. Pepe still plays for us. Remember, people need to remember this. And I haven't seen Pepe in any pictures on any squad anywhere. So I don't even know if he's been told to stay away from the squad, because he's not in any training pictures anywhere whatsoever. Is Pepe still alive? Like, if anyone's actually seen any pictures of Pepe, please post them to ABW, because no one has seen Pepe, and he's still on the books at Arsenal. So it's interesting to see what's going to go on there. Like, we just got so many players that we have to get rid of. I know there was talk of Sambi going to Burnley with a loan, but with an obligation to buy if he hits certain games. So there's still that.
It looks like Art de Roche, who is a correspondent for The Athletic and Football London, has just tweeted, Aston Trusty is set to a permanent move to Sheffield United after impressing on loan last season with Birmingham, £5 million fee. Two other bits of football transfer news. Remember Gianluigi Buffon?
I do.
45 years old, spent the last 2 seasons in Serie B with Parma, just is announcing his retirement in the next couple of days, and said Sadio Mane has just signed for the club, for the Saudi Arabian Pro League club. I'm just seeing a lovely picture that I want to keep.
How old is he? 31, something like that?
I think he is 31, yeah.
That is,
it is. Just shows you can't always do it in all the time for whatever league you're in. Where's he just gone to? They've actually done a video of him wearing the kit, so it's a done deal. Where was it? Here we go. James Benge has just been announced that he signed for Al Nassr, NASSR, £40 million, and will earn £40 million a year, Karl. And we think Femi's loaded. Bloody hell. I mean, Femi could only dream of that.
Maybe Femi owns one of them Saudi clubs, the amount of money that he's got. But it's Sadio Mane for Liverpool was their best player. I think he was better than Salah. And I know a lot of people won't agree with me, but Sadio Mane left, and look what happened to Liverpool last season. And that's not a coincidence. He was the kind of the glue that kept them together. And I think that he was a really good player. And obviously he fell out of favour at Bayern Munich because he had that fight with Sane, didn't he? I know they kind of had a fight at a Champions League game, and they kind of argued. But yeah, do you know what? Like, I can't. I think we've spoken about the Saudi league, and look, it is what it is. At the end of the day, if players want to go over there and get their bag, I can't blame them. Like, listen, this cost of living crisis is crazy, and I'm sure none of them are really going to worry about their next meal. But that's generational wealth. He's 31 years old, going to earn 40 million a year tax free, no tax on that. So it's not a case of 40 million
and
minus tax.
Half of his money goes to back in Africa, building
the
village and hospitals and schools.
So I can't blame him. Can't blame him in the slightest. Like, if you're going to earn that money tax free, that's all your money. You know what? Go for it. Like, I can't blame him.
If Tom offered you £40 million a year to go and do the Gooner talk, you'd do it, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'll fuck you lot. Like, seriously, like, I'll do an ABW goodbye video.
Will you be playing the piano or anything?
Yeah, I'll be like, ever since I was a little boy, I'll have a picture of Tom in the background. Like, but yeah, no, it's generational wealth, so you can't blame these players. I just think that these players are going to become obscurities. Like, so people like Mane will always get into his country squad, always, no matter what, he'll always get in there. I think other players, like European players, would not get into their country squads. Like, people who play for maybe France or Germany or Italy, their managers are not going to look at them. Like, I think Jordan Henderson's career is finished. Well, maybe not, because Gareth Southgate's a fucking idiot and he picks the same players all the time. But like, normally, no player would get a look in. No player would get a look in if you're going to play over there. So, you know what? It is what it is. Like, I'm
listen to this.
Happy to get the money. I still don't understand how Liverpool got 40 million for Fabinho. Like, that is something weird. But you know what? We are where we are. I just hope one of those clubs coming for Pepe or someone like that. It's just weird. It's really weird how none of those clubs have come for any Arsenal players.
Well, we've been linked, haven't we? I think they offered not as much. I mean, I think Pepe's holding out for the £200,000-400,000 a week that some of the other players have gone. But you look at players from the Premier League that have gone there: Kubalai, Neves, where is Alex Telles from Man United, Firmino, Mendy, Mahrez, St. Maximum, Jota from Celtic, and Kante, Fabinho, Rodrigo, and Jordan Henderson. All those have gone, and there's been. I mean, I've changed my mind on Partey. By the way, people, I wanted Partey out after the American tour. I have now realised Arteta wants Partey in the Partey role, and he wants Rice in the Xhaka role. So I think that's our big game boys. So Partey, you can now stay. I've changed my mind.
Yeah, I think he's. I think a lot of people kind of thought that when Rice came, he would replace Rice, but you know, I don't think you can get rid of your midfield from last season and expect two fresh players to come in and just manage to flip in, sort of have a connection and play. I think Partey will play a big part, or maybe he'll try and. Yeah, I think during transition, maybe holding back a little bit, but it'd be interesting on Sunday to see what kind of team we go with, especially the midfield, because I think the team that starts on Sunday is probably the team that's going to start against Nottingham Forest next Saturday after. So, 12:30 kickoff could possibly go wrong, but it's going to be interesting to. It's going to be very interesting to see what kind of happens during that game. I mean, I think in the squad, you're looking at the team kind of picks itself, and the only things you're looking at is whether it's Timber or White, who goes there, who plays on the left-hand side if Zinchenko is not fit. So whether it's going to be Zinchenko or Kivior, or it's not going to be Tierney, let's be honest, because Arteta does not start Tierney for love nor money. And and the rest of the team kind of picks itself. Saka left, Martinelli right, Jesus up front. The midfield, Odegaard will start. The midfield will be interesting because you're looking to maybe, is it going to be Rice, Partey, Odegaard? Is it going to be Trossard, Partey, Odegaard? Is it going to be Rice, Odegaard, Partey? Like, you just don't know. Like, so you just don't know. Is again, I forgot about how Havertz. So is Havertz going to start? So what's good is that anyone who's watching on YouTube that is flicking through our combinations, we've got so many combinations that we could use. And that is a good thing. But just because, I think Trossard is going to be big for us. Yes. I think Emile Smith-Rowe is going to be big for us.
I mean, that's our reserve team. Look at that.
That is a team that I would expect to start in the League Cup and win against 90% of teams.
You add Raya to that.
Huh?
Add Raya to that and have Eddie up front rather than Balogun. So I think Balogun's going to go, and I think Turner's probably going to go. So,
and against 90% of teams, I expect, Tomiyasu, Timber, Kiwior, like Tierney, that's a brilliant back four. Like that back four will probably start for half the teams in the Premier League. So
like what we said for year after year, Man City have got enough. Their reserve team are good enough to finish top half of the table. We've now got that. I think we should get on and do some of these predictions because the next show starts at 8:00 with Chris.
Oh God!
So get this up here and share a screen, and here we go. Right, Mr. Walker. Look, we could down the bottom. We can do that now, or we can do that and have none of us in there. I didn't know we could do that. Wonderful. Just to confirm, your name is Karl and your Twitter username is @that_London_guy. I do like how you've capitalized that. I think it's very lazy when people don't capitalize stuff. And your podcast or blog is indeed ABW until Tom comes in with that 40 million offer.
Oh, it's on the table. We're in negotiations.
Excellent. As part of the deal, you don't ever ruin his journey to work if he ever has to move to London. I'm sure it is. Premier League winner, what are you going for? It seems to be half of the people have gone Man City, half have gone Arsenal. What are you doing?
I'm going for Manchester. Man City.
Yeah. Why?
I just think they've got the experience, and although they're a little bit more weaker than last season, I just think they're a juggernaut of a team, and they know how to win, and they always find a way to just come out on top. The last 14, 15 games, they just go on a run. They've done it nearly every single season and they've won it. They just go on this run where they just don't lose. They just don't manage to lose a game, which is really weird. How they don't run out of steam. Some people, not me, but some people say it could be like some sort of PEDs or some sort of injection. They don't seem to get injuries either. Like, not me, but some people may need to look into that. I don't know.
Yeah, I do agree with you. So Arsenal's position, where are you going?
I think we'll be second.
That's a fair shout. Anyone you think might be challenging Arsenal for second? Because the others seem to be quite a way behind us and City, don't they?
I honestly do think that. I don't know why, but I just feel like Chelsea are going to get their act together, and it's pissing me off that they are. I think Pochettino is probably the right person to go in there and get their act together. I think it depends. Liverpool will be very, very good, but it depends on who they get in their midfield because they've lost Fabinho and Jordan Henderson. And although they got two other midfielders, I think they do need someone else. And they just had a 50 million bid turned down for Lavia, which is, I don't know what Southampton are playing at, but whatever in it. Like, not my circus.
It was meant to be something about 25 million.
I do not understand. 50 million they turned out. That is absolutely ridiculous. Southampton, who are in the EFL Championship, and they've got a 50 million for a player, and they turned it down. That's absolutely ridiculous. So, well,
they've got those Premier League wages to pay, haven't they, from Championship money? Well, they get a parachute payment, but they're not going to be making the same amount of money.
Stupid enough to not put a clause in everyone's contract that if we go down, your money gets halved.
Possibly. Right, so Arsenal's top scorer, all competitions. Everyone has gone for Saka, Jesus, or one has gone Martinelli.
I think Saka. I think he's just an all-round good player, and as long as people stop kicking him and let him play, like he's just going to be brilliant. I want to say Jesus because I really feel like he needs to have a good season. I just don't see him. I don't see Gabriel Jesus getting us 20 plus goals, and I really wish he would. I really do. But
he got 11 last season, but missed 3 months. Have you got a cat there?
Me?
Yeah, I first heard a noise. Like that.
Oh, definitely not a cat. No, Danny.
Oh, okay. You're right with Saka. He's it's just wonderful. It's football porn watching his progression as a human being and as a player. And it's just we've got the most exciting player in world football in Saka. Now for the fun bit, Spurs. Where are you gonna? What are you saying for where they're gonna finish? We've got 7-7, 8-8, 8-8, 9, and 13th.
I think they struggle to be in the top half, especially if they get rid of Harry Kane, because I don't see any other player in world football who's going to give them one, who's going to go to Spurs, and two, give them the amount of goals that Harry Kane gives them. So I'm going to say 10th.
10th. If people are wondering why there's some really cheeky and provocative tweets coming out from the podcast account, most of those are Karl. Occasionally it's me and Ellis, but it's usually Karl. You've had a bit of fun winding up Man United fans, haven't you, recently, and Spurs fans, and that's been going quite well, hasn't it?
It makes me. Do you know what makes me laugh about Man United fans is that
a lot.
Yeah, a lot. But when they beat Arsenal in the friendly, it was all, that's what we do. We don't play friendlies. They've lost 3 games on the bounce after that. And all of a sudden now it's only friendlies. Don't worry about that. It's only friendlies. So make up your mind. Either it's a friendly or you're worried. They lost to Bayern Munich. They lost to Real Madrid. And I think they lost to Forest. But obviously they put out
Wrexham beat them 3-1 and they had a player sent off.
But,
Wrexham.
It's a
that was game. After the Man United keeper tried to kill their best player and punctured his lung.
Yeah, so it's just ridiculous. So look, football rivalry is always great, and Spurs, I've got 0 time for them whatsoever. I love going for them. It's just crazy, but yeah, I really want Spurs to struggle next season because no matter who, if they sell Harry Kane for 80 plus 10, whatever they sell him for, there is no striker in world football who's going to want to go to Spurs with no European football, and he's going to replace Harry Kane's goals. Like, as much as I hate to say it, the goal scorer. So
they were in the Champions League final only a few years ago, and now look at them. It's hilarious.
Oh, but they can claim that we've got the best stadium trophy.
Best cheese room.
Yeah.
FA Cup winner. We've had plenty of different ones here. 2 for Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Brighton, and who did the Brighton one? It was Chris, the Purple Gooner from Florida. Did that to make Josh happy. Newcastle, Man City. What are you going to go for?
I'm going to go Arsenal because I think Arteta has to win a trophy this season, and I think he may go hard for it. I think someone along the lines of like Newcastle probably also want to win a trophy. But I just feel like Arsenal will go balls out for the FA Cup and get there.
Good. League Cup?
Man City, they win it every year. I think it's just easy for them. They can put out their reserve team and still win, still get there. So yeah, definitely go Man City, that one.
Champions League, we've had 2 delusional people, me and Mike McDonald from Gunners Town, the blogger, have gone for Arsenal. Everyone else has gone for Real Madrid, apart from 2 that have gone for Bayern Munich and one Bayern Munich, 1 Man City. So what are you going to do?
I think it's going to be, depending on obviously who meets where, it's going to be between Real Madrid and Man City, because I think on merit they're probably the two strongest. But I'm going to go Real Madrid just because that midfield of Real Madrid is an absolute joke. It's a football manager's cheating midfield. It's just, and then the reserves. Like imagine being good enough to have Toni Kroos and Modric in reserve. Like they're not starters for you. It's just a joke. And yeah, and obviously Mbappe is going to go to Real Madrid at some point. He's definitely going there, whether it be on loan or however. He's not staying at PSG this season. He's going to go Real Madrid. It just depends on how much money they go for him and where, because they still kind of need a striker. So yeah, if he does go there.
So you're going Man City for the Champions League or Real Madrid?
Real Madrid.
Okay. Top goal scorer, all competitions.
Yeah, I'm going to be like everyone else, Haaland. He's just a monster. He really is.
And the winner of the championship, this one is quite spread out. What's your thoughts on that?
I think so. I'm taking an interest in the championship this season. I bought myself a Charlton season ticket, everyone, so I can go to Arsenal. Yeah, I know they're in League One, but
isn't Tom's girlfriend a Charlton fan? Tom's wife. Yeah, I think she is.
No idea, but I bought myself a Charlton season ticket just because it was like £450, and it's down the road from me, so I can go there like with Arsenal or playing away or something like that. So I just thought, why not? I can drive there. The championship for me is like probably the second best league behind the Premiership because it's just brilliant. Like there's so many really good teams. Now I see a lot of people going for Southampton because it depends on if they keep their players. I am going to go for Southampton or Middlesbrough because Middlesbrough came really close, or even Millwall because Millwall came first last season as well.
I think it all depends with Middlesbrough is the ex-Arsenal young striker, Triple Apcom. I think he was there, and he was the top goal scorer in the Championship last season. I know it was one of the ex-Arsenal strikers. I'm just going to go and have a little looky poo. Triple Apcom, top goal scorer, 28 goals for Middlesbrough. Has he left Middlesbrough though? No, he's still there, and he's only 27.
Yeah, so I think probably I'm going to go with Middlesbrough actually. Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Millwall will be there as well for some reason. Don't know why. I love Millwall to the Premier League so much.
Oh, dirty Millwall. Who's going to be the first match? Go on.
I say the trouble that it would cause. Like imagine Millwall versus Tottenham, Millwall West Ham. Those games will need to be played like on a Sunday morning at 8:30 in the morning. Oh God, it'd be so hilarious.
It will be tasty. First manager to be sacked. It's a tough one.
Ooh, it's a tough one because there's
People
so many
good. A couple for Moyes, a couple for Pochettino, and one Pochettino, Postecoglou, and Sean Dyche.
I was thinking Dyche, but I think he'll get Everton decent. I'm going to go Lopetegui for Wolves. I think Wolves are on a hiding to nowhere. I think they are just awful. They're an awful football club. So I think he'll probably go first.
There you go. That's it. Some interesting predictions there. A little bit good on the Middlesbrough. I quite like the idea of that. Have you arranged that pod? I can close this now. Have you arranged that pod with the gentleman from who used to read the news on Sky Sports? What is his name?
I've kind of like gone off because he kept
Gavin.
Sort of, he kept kind of being in and out. But I need to message him again because I'll try and get on there to do it. But yeah, we'll get there. I think this season, I'm looking forward to this season, which makes me annoyed because if we lose one game, I'm going to throw my toys at my pram and say it's all shit all over. But I think we were talking in our group, and we were saying that some people in the group were saying, "Oh, I don't feel confident." But our first 3 games are Nottingham Forest, Crystal Palace, and Fulham. If we don't take 9 points from those, then yeah, maybe we should give up, because that's not. We've got to be beating those teams. And then the 4th game is Man United at home. So that's the first test. The first test is definitely Man United at home. But the first 3 games, if we don't take 9 points from those, then yeah, we've got a problem. So yeah, we should win and bring on the season. And I cannot wait for the first game at the Emirates and hear that Champions League music. That's going to be something special, like really, really special. And I can't
Have
wait.
You sorted that season tickets yet? Has Big Jeff sorted you out?
No, I need to get on to Jeff actually, because
good luck with him.
He can sort tickets, and I haven't really spoken to him, so I would get on to him. Trying to get Arsenal tickets legitly is
impossible.
It's very hard. It's very, very hard. To be honest, I thought I'd be offered a season ticket this season because I'm very high or low on the season ticket waiting list, however you want to say it. I'm in the hundreds, and I wasn't offered one. So I think the upkeep, I think I was reading Darren Arsenal's tweets, and he was saying that this season has been the lowest. How can I say this now? The lowest offers for new season tickets. Now, everyone's just renewed. So yeah, it's going to be tough this season trying to get tickets for Arsenal. But I'll get there. I will get there, even if it means I have to pretend to be Femi, like wear a cap and just have £50 notes coming out my pockets. Everyone will think I'm so it'll be fine. So yeah.
Excellent. Right, that's it. We're going to go. Just so far, this has been the longest one out of all of them. The shortest was 16 minutes. The longest is Karl on 37. Who'd have thought that? Oh, yeah. No doubt ABW will be back sometime in the next week or so. We've got 5 podcasts tomorrow. We've got 5, 7, 9, 10, and 11. So maybe if you don't want to do one, but maybe 7:30 till 9, you might be able to, or Friday. But Sunday and Monday, I've only got 1 or 2. Canadian Jeff is joining me on Sunday. Ooh. But Tuesday, I don't have anything. So maybe I should leave Tuesday next week open for you lot to do, or us lot to do a pod. Tuesday and Wednesday next week, I've got nothing booked. So I'll leave those clear.
League Cup, whether commiserations, not League Cup, Charity Shield, whether it's, if we win it, it's a trophy. If we don't win it, it's just a friendly.
It's meaningless. Hey, what better way to end? And last night, I don't suppose you heard it, Chris, the Lion Gooner, who we're all friends with, he ended the show with, and don't forget, people, fuck Ellis. He's stealing your gig.
Out fucking outrageous.
Unfucking believable.
Only I can say fuck Ellis. Fuck Ellis.
Yes, excellent. All right, Karl, thank you very much. And I will speak to you in the groups and podcast with you next week.
Take care. Bye, everyone. Thanks.
As soon as I scored that goal, I was fucking livid. Get down, dog. Splendid business.
You nearly caught the bloody thing. What are you talking about?
So I was just eating a full quiche. Well, you don't often see them at Ibs, so when you see them in the supermarket, they need to be swagged, microwaved immediately, and get the brown sauce on and bosh, Bob's your uncle.
Never in doubt.